Yo, hello, what's up guys? This is K-Kite here bringing you a new episode of Epic 7 video. First announcement, we finally break the 100 subscriber mark. I would like to thank you all for the support and hopefully I can do better in the upcoming future and to bring out more interesting videos for you guys. And second announcement here, as you can see, I'm a heavy RTA player. And currently I've been popping off in RTA, as you can see right over here. I'm currently on rank 55, right? And also, interestingly, I have like 10 consecutive victory in legend level RTA. Hopefully in the future I can do some RTA videos as well, but that's not the topic for today. So for today, I'll be talking about the top 5 best rangers in Epic 7 in the current meta. Keep in mind that this is totally my personal opinion. You can feel free to disagree with, but personally I'm a heavy RTA player, so I will be stand on the PvP perspective and also consider some aspects of PvE as well. So with that being said, if you like my videos, please make sure to click on that like button to support the video. And also, if you are new to my channel, feel free to subscribe to help the channel growing. And let's get into today's video. I want to emphasize again that this list is totally based on my personal experience in PvP. So I'll be ranking the hero based on their PvP usage mainly, especially for World Arena RTA. If you have any thoughts, right, or you disagree with me, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know how you feel about this list. And if I didn't mention any hero, it doesn't mean that they are bad. It just means that they feel a little bit lackluster to me from a PvP aspects. Okay, so I have 4 honorable mentions. The first one being Fire Shuri. Fire Shuri is mainly used as a speed imprint unit, right? He provides 14 speed for the top and the back position members. And normally people use him in a clear setup, try to outspeed if they feel like they want to speed contest, right? If the enemy teams is picking like maybe Assassin's Seed, right? Some fast unit try to disrupt your cleave, then you can use this unit to imprint the speed, right? To guarantee the turn 1. And the stats lines is average for a 4-star. And the second honorable mention is actually going to be Watcher Shuri, right? The Moonlight version of Shuri. Also mainly for the speed imprint at plus 10 speed right over here for all members. And this skill is also very strong as well. Single target ignore defense, right? Fully ignore defense. People use him in a cleave setup. Usually they push up the team, right? In Oxlot, Challenger Dominio, and Faces Lidica, right? Team. Very solid stats line as well. The attack is a bit low, but it's because he has this ignore defense. You can easily ignore defense and kill a Ruel or FCC or Last Rider Crowd, right? With this skill, no problem. And the third honorable mention is actually ironically be another speed contester imprint. Celeste plus 8 speed right over here. And if you watch YDCB's video, and he's a famous YouTuber and he used Celeste a lot, right, in his cleave team. Because Celeste has probably one of the fastest base speed, right, 128. And if you give her the critical hit chance necklace, you can boost up your Challenger Dominio, right? And also this skill has potential to push back the enemy teams, help you guarantee that turn 1 with this speed imprint as well. So overall, a very solid hero. I highly suggest you to to keep, right, if you pull these heroes. And the last honorable mention is going to be Operator Cigarette. So she has an ignore defense if the enemy members has a barrier, 100%. If no barrier, is 50%. And S3 is attack buff for all members, and also push back 20%, and strip, right, by one turn. Very solid stats line. And Operator Cigarette, people use her to be a cleave unit, right, damage dealer, to counter Fallen Cecilia shield and Last Rider Crowd shield, right? Try to one tap a unit with this ignore defense. And her S1 is a small heal. The reason why I put her on honorable mention is because I think her usage is very limited. She only works in a cleave setup, but other than that, she's rarely used. And I have an Operator Secret showcase video when she was released, so feel free to check that one out, where I showcase how do you cleave in RTA and in Arena by using Operator Secret. Okay, let's actually get into the top 5. Up at the number 5, we have Faceless Lidica right over here. I hate to say this, Faceless Lidica used to be one of the strongest hero in the game, but right now she's only top 5 in my opinion, because there are a lot of counters, and the meta is not good for her as well. And her S2 strips push your team up, right? Increase combat readiness, and also cannot be counter-attacked, and also you self-gain 25% per target hit. Basically, if you hit all 4 targets, you get another turn immediately to use this S3. And S3 reset cooldown for 1 unit to max, right? Makes that unit basically useless on the board, and put up skill nullifier for your team. Very, very strong skill. And if you soul burn this one, ignore effective resistance, you can potentially reset a Ruel, a high ER unit. S1 is a decreased hit chance, right? Not a big deal, but good to have. And attack imprint, and you can use the effectiveness as well. And the reason why I say she's not that top tier anymore is because people know how to deal with her, and cleave suffers a lot. For example, you can use the newest hero, right, Politis, to reduce the CR gain by 50%, right, which is a perfect counter to these skills. And your DPS will not get the turn because Politis can cut, right, if she's fast. And a lot of ways to deal with Faceless Lidica, and you can maybe use the General Purgus, right, when you hit him, and he also gives combat readiness to the team. Or maybe the Elena, right, can cut and then pulls up invisibility. And yeah, so the overall, I think you have ways to deal with her, and maybe the Assassin Sid and Assassin Coley, Crescent Moon Rin, all these fast units to outspeed her and try to shut her down. And because normally you want to run her on this artifact, Sachet, because you normally want to cleave with Faceless Lidica, right? Increase combat readiness of our allies by 16% maxed out if the enemy dies. You can also use Guiding Light, right? This one, very powerful. Also in the upcoming banner as well. I highly suggest you to pull at least 1 copy for this one. Yeah, this can potentially stop Assassin Sid and Assassin Cody, but still, I think there are too many ways to deal with Faceless Lidica. Up at the number 4 spot, we have Seaside Bellona. She is probably my favorite character in Epic 7. I really like her design and her skill as well. Her S3, right? Huge AoE damage, unbuffable, unhealable, grant 3 focuses, and if you have 5 focus, you counter attack AoE and can potentially armor break as well. And you gain 1 focus every time your member is hit. S1 is a target debuff. So she basically can counters a lot, right? Do a lot of damage because your team is gonna get hit, right? Regardless. So you don't need Seaside Bellona to be on high speed, right? You can even give her very tanky stats and still do a lot of damage because of this her own artifact, right? Rengar specialty drink right over here. So when attacking all enemies has a 100% chance, right? If you max this out to inflict additional damage based on your own attack, can do a lot of damage. Overall, very strong hero. And I think Seaside Bellona, the reason why I only rank her on the number 4 is because there are counters to her, right? You cannot really first pick her right off the bat and expect to be successful, right? People can pick up the Rowana, right? Then your S2 will become a healing machine for the team. And maybe they can bring out the Falcon and Clury, right, to lock her down, right? Maybe, or bring Alencia, Vivian, like Earth units, right, to fight her. So overall, I think she's still a very strong DPS, right, damage dealer in the game, but definitely like have some counters as well. So I only rank her number 4 spot. Up at the number 3 spot, we are having Wire-Witch Syria, the newly buffed hero. And this is kind of controversial, but trust me, I think Witch Syria is very strong at the moment. Because these skills, before the buff, the chance to land this one is only 75%, but after buff, if you max out, it's 100% chance to land this one. Strip, unable to be buffed, and also attack down. Very strong debuff, can cripple a team by this. And also, she's immortal, right? She cannot die, right? Like a Kayron. So basically, this means that she guarantees a S3 off on the battlefield. Not to mention you have this skill to counter the evasion, although it's not 100% counter, right? You can still miss, but still it's a good counter to evasion. And S1 also a very solid armor break. I've seen people, right, use this hero a lot in high level RTA, PvP, and be successful. I think she's very strong. You just need her to be fast and having some effectiveness to land the debuff. And imprint also attack, right? And also I forgot to mention these skills, right? You can deal additional damage based on your attack as well, like a Rengar specialty drink effect. Very solid stats line, right, as well. So I think she is good because personally I really like her design as well, right? When she was released, I go for her and actually pulled her. But right now after the buff, I think she's very strong. Right? People still say she's bad, but I don't think so. I totally disagree. I think she's very strong in RTA. That's why I rank her at the number 3 spot. Up at the number 2 spot is actually going to be Landy right over here, the 5-star Earth Ranger limited hero. She will be on the next banner, so I highly suggest you to pull for her if you have the resource, because she is just that strong, right? For this S3, you have the speed buff, the CR push, and if the fighting spirit is full, you have a 50% defense penetration. That's a lot of damage, right? Not to mention, if you soul burn this one, you gain an extra turn, right? If you are using Landy in a cleave setup, right? Maybe the Oxlot, right? To push her to the front and to give attack buff and also have souls ready. You can potentially have 2 S3s with defense penetration in one turn. Depends on the number of buffs, right, on the enemy team. Because of this passive, right, you gain like 10 fighting spirit for each buff granted to an enemy, right? This is huge. So basically, Landy S3 can potentially have like a very short cooldown, right? So this is huge. Not to mention this S2 increase the caster's attack by 15%. You max out is 20%, right? After attacking. And you can also build Landy like a bruiser, right? Very tanky, high defense, high health, and she will still work, right? Because of this attack stacking. And also in PvP, right? If you're in RTA, there's a frenzy stacking up attack as well. Makes her a late game threat. And also this S1, right? Combat readiness self push, also very good. You can also run Landy in maybe a counter set, maybe, right? Not speed set. And amount of fighting spirit gain are double when the enemy is buffed. So this is very crazy because this hero is very good, right? AoE damage. In some way, Landy is better than SSB because there's no counters. If you are bringing Seaside Bologna, the enemy teams may bring like a Roana, then you have to ban that Roana. But in this case, there's no real counters, right? And also I forgot to mention, right? This S3 cannot trigger a counter attack, right? So you cannot be countered by ML Ken or Charles. A lot of this Albert's Ritual Sword, right? A lot of knights are running Albert's Ritual Sword. So Landy is overall very well rounded. I believe, like, because back in the days when she was first released, she didn't have this, right? This whole kit, and people were saying she's bad. And actually, she wasn't that great back then, and I actually didn't pull much. Right? I only pulled one copy for her. But right now, after the buff, right? Because Smilegate buffed her, and she is insane. She's actually, in my opinion, the number 2 ranger currently available in the game at the moment. So yeah, I think I highly suggest you to pull for her if you don't have her, because you get a banner up, right? I believe because they buffed her, that's why they rerun Landy so fast, right? So she's having the banner in the upcoming patch. And the imprint, you probably want to use this attack ones, and very solid stat line as well. Okay, for the number 1 spot in PvP, in my opinion, can you guess who she is? She's actually going to be Cerise, the hero that I don't have, because she's just that crazy. By the way, she's also coming up in the banner, right? The triple limited hero banner. So I highly suggest you to pull for her as well, right? Including Landy in the not Soul Weaver, the Ranger category, right? Let's look at her skills, right? First of all, stats wise, Cerise 122 base speed, so fast. You can just give your best speed gear on her, right? And she will be having this 300 speed, right? Guarantee that turn 1. And what she does is that she strip all buffs, right? And put this decrease speed, right? And restrict, right? Basically, the restrict debuff is that you cannot be CR pushed, right? You cannot gain combat readiness. And so this shuts down a lot of the units like Faces Lidica, right? Remember, on the number 5 list. And also maybe ML Bao, right? Bao and Sazan. ML Bao and Sazan, where he wants to gain combat readiness. Maybe Tempesuran, but if Tempesuran cannot cleanse this debuff off, right? So this shuts down a lot of cleaves even, right? And you can also use Cerise to cleave if you give her critical hit chance, right? With high speed, and then Cerise and into a challenge Dominio, right, to cleave. And also after she uses these skills, right, she gains invincibility, and basically she cannot die, right, after turn 1. And then you can choose to use either the S1 or the S2. And the S2 is like a stun, right, and unable to be buffed, right? And if you soul burn this one, it's a guarantee. So it is crazy. I also increased the combat readiness by 50%. Right? Imagine the Cerise is already very fast, and then she gained 50% combat readiness from these skills, right? And she basically gets another turn very soon. And also, I forgot to mention this one. Ignore element disadvantages, meaning that you can also hit like the grass hero as well. And the S1 triggers a dual attack, right? Also gives herself combat readiness. This is kind of crazy because Cerise, just popping off, right? Gaining so many turns and dual attack with your allies, right? Maybe it's Arbiter Vildred or maybe it's S10, right? Pumping out a lot of damage and also can also crowd control like high effective resistant units because of this sober, right? If you give her the misconfound, if you have this, let me show you the misconfound, the artifact, right? Ranger artifact. It's limited artifact or during the Guilty Gear Cloak lab, right? This one, misconfound alpha artifact, has a 60% chance to decrease defense. Also, you can, yeah. So Cerise can also decrease defense, right? If you use this artifact to set up like more damage. So I think she's just that strong, right? She's like must pull, right? I'm going to be pulling for her because I don't have her, and I see a lot of people using her in high-end RTA, and she's definitely a highly contested pick. And the imprint right here, you can either go for the critical hit chance, right? For your team members, or you can use the effectiveness, right, to make sure the debuff lands. Overall, Cerise just that strong, mainly because of the turn cycling, the speed, the crowd control, and yeah, and she's buffed also, and also like her artifact, the guiding light, is also very strong as well, also in the upcoming banner. So you probably want to be pulling for that as well. That wraps up the top 5, right, in my top 5 Rangers in Epic 7. In summary, the honorable mentions are Fire Shuri, Watcher Shuri, Celeste, and Operator Cigarette. For top 5, we have number 5, Faceless Lydica, number 4, Seaside Bellona, number 3, Briar Witch Etheria, number 2, Landy, and number 1, Cerise. That concludes today's video. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on this list in the comment section below. And if you like my video, please make sure to click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And with that being said, I wish you all have a good day and good luck in pulling for the upcoming limited heroes. And I will see you guys next time.